Janet Torres with us, who is going to be giving us a presentation about how Kimbia will work on Valley Gives Day, some of the mechanics. We're glad to be working with Kimbia this year as the platform. And I believe we also might be joined by Melissa from Kimbia as well, who might chime in. So with that, I'll turn it over to Janet.
Thank you so much, Michael. And good morning, everyone. I'm really looking forward to your Giving Day and Kimbia, and we're so grateful that Valley Gives is partnering with Kimbia on your Giving Day. So I will start. And our agenda is as follows. We have advanced giving. We're going to be discussing advanced giving, nonprofit profile access, day of site look of the site, donor data report, and prizes. After we're done, Michael and I are done with the presentation, I will take you to the live site so you can actually see what the donor forms will look like in its totality. Right now I have some screenshots, and it was hard to make sure that everything was on that screenshot for the slide, so I will be taking you to the live site at the very end. So if you have questions, you can look at your admin panel, and you have a little arrow that says questions. You can type your questions in there. What Michael and I will do, because we have a very large group of people participating, what we ask is that you type in your questions, and then after this presentation, Michael and I will go through and answer every single one of your questions. And I believe, Michael, you'll be posting those answers to those questions on your Facebook site, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's a Facebook group that we created for Valley Gives.
Great. And just want to make sure everyone is seeing my screen and it looks okay. Michael?
Yep.
Okay, great. So let's talk about advanced giving. This is a really great opportunity to get the word out prior to May 2nd to your donors and prospective donors. So Valley Gives has decided to do what we call advanced giving. What happens is that on April 25th, a donation form will appear on your NPO page and on the home page of the website of Valley Gives. So the opportunity is now, the donor will have an opportunity to do a scheduled giving, or what we call advanced giving, and it's really exciting because then on the day of May 2nd, once the Giving Day begins, then those advanced giving donations pledges will be added to your total on May 2nd. But let me just go through a little bit what's on this slide. So donation forms will populate on April 25th. Access to your donation report is available to be able to actually see and view what those scheduled gifts are. So I will take you later on to your different NPO links. If you have now perused those links already on your NPO profile, I'll take you there so you can see that as of April 25th, if you know people who are going to be doing advanced giving, you can track them on that report, which is great. It's just a downloadable Excel sheet in real time. The status will then show pending. And then donors will receive, once they go to that form starting on April 25th, those donors will then receive an on-screen confirmation and an email confirmation from the Community Foundation of Western Massachusetts verifying their gift, which is a good thing because that'll remind them that they have made scheduled gifts. So what actually happens on May 2nd? So your donors may have made advanced gifts. What happens on May 2nd? So all the gifts will process in the early morning hours of May 2nd. For those that have been successfully processed, donors will then receive an actual receipt from the Community Foundation of Western Mass. And that's their receipt that they'll be able to utilize for tax purposes. And then when you download your donor report, the status then changes to success. So what happens when there's an unsuccessful gift? And it can be many circumstances, just, people typed in the wrong, CVV code, they may have just, typed a number. So those will show as unsuccessful. And then the donors will receive an email from the Community Foundation explaining that the gift was not processed. So at that point, it becomes important for you then to reach out to those donors to see, what is the issue, wrong email, wrong address, any of those items that did not fulfill the successful gift for Thanksgiving. How do you log into the Kimbia site? Now, Michael has done a great thing in Valley Gives. So if you go to the help on the main bar of the top bar of the Valley Gives site, you just click on help. It'll take you to this login to Kimbia, and all you have to do is click on this link. That will take you to the Kimbia login site, and then that will once you log in successfully, it will take you into the Kimbia site. So here is an example of once you click that link, where does it take you? It takes you to what you're seeing right now, where you input your email and your password. Now, the main point of contact is going to be an important thing because that's what Kimbia is going to recognize. So please make sure that prior to the event and prior to Thanksgiving, you are very comfortable logging in, and those individuals who are using that login feel comfortable logging in if you have to share it with other people in your nonprofit. So what happens when I successfully join the Kimbia panel? So what I will see is my NPO links. So here you'll see my profile page link, my donations report. What's important here is that this profile page link, you can copy and paste, which I'm sure you have been doing already. You can then send it to donors, place it in social media, email campaigns, so forth. So this is just an easy place for you, so you don't have to go to the Valley Gives site all the time, look your NPO site up, and then copy and paste the URL. This is already in your NPO profile. So again, you can copy and paste this and use this as needed. Again,
Shannon, can I jump in for a second?
Yes, of course.
So some people have been confused. I just wanted to point out on the left-hand side, it says registration links and logout. So normally when you've gone into your registration page, you're in the top box, which is registration. And from there, if you click on links, you'll get to where we are here. So you're basically where you need to be. You just have to click on the different box.
Very good point. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, something as simple as that can be confusing. So yes, thank you for that clarification. As I said earlier about April 25th and the start of Thanksgiving, you'll be, as of April 25th, able to click on this URL, and it will take you to an Excel sheet, and you'll be able to see who has already pledged to do Thanksgiving, which is a great thing. Again, I think, and I'll get to this a little later, about the importance and security of this URL for the donation report. Remember, this is specific to your organization, and it's important because it has the confidential information of your donors. And so you don't want everyone in your nonprofit to have access to this URL. So it becomes really important that you only share it with those individuals who can. So all you have to do is cut and paste this, send it to the appropriate person on your finance team or others who are watching the donations report, and just make sure that then all they have to do is then click on it, it downloads in real time, and they'll be able to see what's happening. Your profile page link. So I was talking a little bit about this earlier, but let me go into a little more detail. As Michael said, once you sign in, you'll be taken to this box here on the left. Click on links, and it will take you to your two profile links. Again, as I said earlier, your profile page link is your unique URL that will take donors directly to your profile page. Right now, it's in pre-event, what we call phase 1, and what are your donors seeing right now? They're just seeing information about your mission statement, your pictures, your video. Why is it important for them to be donating on May 2nd? So it becomes your marketing tool. At this point, it's your marketing tool. But on May 2nd, it becomes a donor page, and you'll be seeing a screenshot of that very shortly. At the same time, there are different ways for donors, just for you to know, to let your donors know, we prefer that you send out your profile page link URL because it's the easiest thing. Donors won't have to look for you, but if for some reason they are looking for other ways to locate your organization, the same link, your URL, will be on the Valley Gives page under in the URL box, and they can always find you on the Valley Gives. So they can find you either through a search box, which in the live site I will show you where that is. Categories, so many of you are broken down by categories, be it animal related or education. Groups, this is a nice function because MPOs, you can find MPOs by city or county. And then of course you can, on the leaderboard, when it becomes active, you'll be able to click on the link for the MPO within the leaderboard and it takes you back to the MPO page. So there's several ways for a person, either who you're dealing directly with or not. Maybe because of your advertising or your marketing through social media, somebody who's never given to you may try to, just knows your name and may try other ways to find you. So there are several different ways to find you. Here's the example of an NPO donation page. So right now, all, as I said earlier, pre-event phase 1 that you're currently in, when you go to Amherst Ballet, the first thing you'll see is their logo and mission statement and pictures and video. That doesn't go away. I will show you that in the live site. That just gets pushed down. What does go away is the video. A lot of things and best practices that Kimbia has found is that there's a lot of stuff going on that day. So what we found is that we eliminate the capacity for videos to be viewed on the day of the site. So people can really focus on giving. And so the first thing a prospective donor will see is your donation form. So to me, this is very important. So utilize your video up until May 2nd. And just best practices on our end, the video will not make or break what you're raising. What makes or break a successful giving day for an individual NPO is how well they have been communicating with their prospective donors, either ones that they know of through email campaigns, but those who may be interested and maybe new and have found you through social media. So, so when I get to the live page on the live site for the giving day of the actual giving day on May 2nd, you'll see what I'm talking about. What you see here is also the Amherst Ballet has matching funds of $2,500. So what happens here? Kimbia, when a donor donates whatever amount, 25, 10, 100, 250, that will this matching fund will automatically be deducting and going down. It does, so the only thing that gets processed though is the actual donor donation. You as an MPO who have made the arrangement with this matching funds donor, then you will then work with that individual donor after the event to get that $2,500 or whatever amount you were able to raise. Michael, do you have anything else to talk about that? Did I clarify that enough?
No, I think that's exactly right. I've been describing it really as a separate relationship for the source of the matching gift. One could go through Kimbia to make a matching gift, but it's not required. Right. And I think it's as simple as that.
Yep, exactly. And it's just a nice way to, again, if you have a separate matching gift program that you don't want to put on Kimbia, that's fine. Again, it's a separate relationship. But it is nice that you can actually see this countdown as the day goes. On the right-hand side, you see here, need your receipt. This is a great way for donors to get have their receipt resent. In case it's not required because they already would be getting an email, which I will show shortly, their receipt. But in case it's like, hey, I can't find my email, I need my receipt again, they can then go in here and get it resent. The main donation page. This is what the home page will look like on the day of the event. It becomes a what we call a multi-give form. And what does that mean? That means that I can type in several different, if I am a donor who knows I'm going to go to several, I'm going to be donating to several different organizations on the same day, I necessarily do not have to go to their individual pages. I can just type in the amount, and then here on the right-hand side it says Add Gift. I will then press that and select that button, and then I'll be able to, another organization name, box will show up, amount, and then I can keep going. And I think one of our last giving days, someone gave to like 200 plus organizations on this multi-gift page, which is interesting. And then you see here the first-time donor. As I said earlier, there's a lot more to this main donation page, and I'll be showing that in live. So I have successfully either donated via the MPO page or on the home page. What do I see when I finish? I will get an on-screen confirmation. And this is an example of what it will look like. And then as the donor, I have the opportunity to then post this on social media and send the link to whomever I would like to contact and encourage to give on that day. Email receipt. I apologize, I had to split this up in two, but when you see it, it is all one form when it comes to the email. Again, this is coming from Valley Gives, not from the individual MPO. So just want to make sure that everybody understands. I think Michael has mentioned that before, but this is the language and the look of the receipt when received by the donor. Here you don't have the name of the organization just because this is a test, and we did not give to anyone in particular. But if you look on the second side of the transaction summary, it says donation. This is where you'll see either one or several donations. So what's great is that if I'm a donor and I'm giving to several organizations at one time, it will be listed as one all on one receipt if I'm using the multi-gift form on the home page. If I decide to go as a donor to go to every single nonprofit individual page, I will then get an individual receipt. So it's just a little different. And here says on the bottom, your questions that will have more information with donation and other questions that are required that I'll be showing you in a second. Leaderboard. So this is maybe look a little different than what you used to, but right now, so the leaderboard is also not only a place where you'll see your total gifts and total dollars, but again, as I said earlier, these links under organizations will be active and live. So as a donor, I may just want, hey, I, decided I'm just going to try and find my group through the leaderboard. I just can click on this, links of the YMCA of Western Massachusetts, and it'll take me to their MPO page. Also, you'll have a second tab here, which is prizes, which everyone's, I'm sure, excited about. And Michael will talk even a little more about that at the end of my presentation. You'll be able, on the day, you'll start seeing those prizes populate and who's winning them and so forth. But Michael will talk a little more in depth about verification of those process of those prizes and when they'll, when all of them will be finalized. As I said earlier, the donations report link. Here, again, as I said earlier, and I showed you earlier, here is your link. You just click on that, and that'll take you to it'll download an Excel spreadsheet. My recommendation, download it every hour. You don't have to do it much more than that unless you're doing some kind of time prize and you're just checking it for yourself. But every time I click on that, it will repopulate with up-to-date information on your donors. Donor data available, like I said, real time, save the hyperlink. And again, as I said, be careful who you share it with because it's really important. And then this donation report is active, after the giving day. So it doesn't shut down at midnight. I believe, and I'll confirm this, but I believe it's active all the way until, we start the next giving day. This is something that's available to you way after the event. And then this is a sample of what the donations report will look like. So it has confirmation code, donation amount. If it's anonymous, you'll see that it says anonymous true, and then of course everything else is anonymous. Within that, you'll also see who is in honor of, in memoriam of, who are you donating on behalf of. That will be listed there also on that donation report. It will have not only the online piece, but also has the advance giving will be there also, and what's successful on that day. Okay. And if I didn't say this earlier, we are recording this, and Michael, I will be sent this, and also the PDF version of this will be sent out. So not only will you have the video and recording of this webinar, but also you'll have the PDF, so you can then look at it at your leisure. What's happening on the day of the event? You know, I mean, in the extreme circumstance that refunds have to be handled, this is the process. So during the event, if, and Michael will be sending out an email that donors can use. So, so if a donor is calling you saying, hey, I made a mistake, I meant $100, not $10,000, then please, you'll be able to send them to information will be able to collect it and sent by email to Michael, and then Michael will be, or his team will be working with the K Foundation, which is the third-party processing group that Kimbia works with that helps with the disbursement of the funds. So here it says TKF will work on processing all funds on the log within 48 hours. Michael, do you want to add anything there?
Just that we will send out some information, and we'll have a process in place before the event for all the organizations to contact us. So we're going to identify the email that an organization or a donor can send us information. And I think the request that we're thinking of is for donors to contact the Community Foundation by email rather than have them reach out to the nonprofits. But either way, we would catch those as opposed to the foundation, the K Foundation.
And as I showed earlier, how does a donor get a copy of their receipt during the event in case they don't see it in their email or they can't find it? They can always request another copy of their receipt.
And one thing, Jen, if I just jump in, because I know there's been questions about this, is this is a little different from years past in that the sense that the receipt is standardized for all the nonprofits. So if someone makes a donation to Valley Gives, they'll get a standard receipt, as Janet had talked about. But that doesn't preclude you, once you get the donor information, as Janet was talking about, to send out your own thank you. In fact, that would be a best practice. So they won't get the legal receipt from you, but they can definitely get a thank you from you.
Absolutely, and that's why that donation report is so important, because you'll be able to utilize that for your thank yous during the event, after the event, and any way you deem useful for your fundraising opportunities throughout the year. And again, just to jump in for another best practice, for those donors who have, that are you can do shout outs on your social media. People love that. Donors love to be recognized. So if you can and you have the capacity, thanking donors as the day is going is extremely important. And also getting a thank you afterwards, something, handwritten would be lovely if possible. But I know sometimes people get a lot of donors. So again, those are my 2 cents on best practice. So Michael, thank you for bringing that up. So let me just go to post-event and disbursement. Because we are Valley Gives and the Community Foundation of Western Massachusetts is working with the K Foundation for the disbursement, nonprofit checks will be distributed on or about the 15th of the following month. So starting June 15th, checks will be the net of the refunds and the associated transaction and event fees. What's very, very important, and you saw this on your registration, there is, on the bottom it says, checks will be mailed to verified addresses that are on the business master file of the IRS. So I would make sure that the address that you check your the master business file and the IRS, make sure that the address, they won't be like, if you move it in the last 5 months, that check is not being sent there. It's being sent to the address on record when you are filing your 501c3. So if you need to make those changes, there are directions on how and instructions how to make that change, address verification on the registration form. So you'll be able to see it there. So it's way on the bottom. It says, change of address if necessary. And that's, I think that's all really that I have to say on that piece. Okay, prizes. But before we get to prizes, there are 2 things. Michael, do you want to talk about the editing function and when that ends?
Yes. So this was a change, at least in my understanding. It's been in place with Kimbia, but I misunderstood. And it's part of the email I sent out this morning. So where it stands is that an organization can make changes on your profile page up until 11:59 on April 25th. So I had, excuse me, I had misunderstood and thought we could make changes on profile pages all the way through Valley Gives Day. That was incorrect. So we're on the 13th now, so we're just shy of 2 weeks. So between now and the end of the day on the 25th, just make sure that all the information that you want to have posted is accurate and there. The reason behind it is just that we want to make sure that when Kimbia rolls out Valley Gives Day, that all the moving pieces are working correctly. And one way to do that is make sure that there's less moving pieces and less unknowns. The only exception with that is with the matching gift amount. And so what can happen there is that up until midnight of May 1st, so immediately before the day starts, the 1st, I'm sorry, you can change your matching gift amount. So if you had $1,000 and all of a sudden someone came up to you on the morning of May 1st and said, I want to give you another 500, you can go in and change it. But as soon as Valley Gives Day starts, you'll be unable to change that matching gift amount.
Right, and you can go up or down. We hope you go up in amount, not down, but you do have that ability up until May 1st at midnight to make those changes.
So should I jump into prizes?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So in terms of prizes, we covered this in the orientation webinar, or those who are at the in-person presentations. There's 2 different categories of prizes that are worth highlighting. So some of them are automatic. So the hourly prizes, for example, would be automatic. And, 11 o'clock, for example, I don't know if when that we're going to, well, just say 11 o'clock comes and goes and a golden ticket is handed out. That'll be assigned automatically. And those will show up in the leaderboard accordingly. There's other prizes that we're doing this year that require some calculation and therefore are determined to be manual. And we will be doing those calculations probably the morning after Valley Gives. We just can't do it at midnight. It doesn't make any sense. And the idea is we try to align the prizes with some of the goals of Valley Gives. So if you had an increase in donors from last year to this year, if you participated last year, we have to wait till midnight to know what your total donors are. It won't be automatic. So there will be some prizes that you will know you will have won on Valley Gives Day, and hopefully by afternoon of the next day, the rest of the prizes will be calculated, and we will post those on the website and Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. I think that is the key. Is there anything else I missed on that one, Janet?
No. And I'll be taking, if that's okay with you.
I thought of one thing.
Yes.
Just in terms of, this is a pre-advertisement, but for the golden tickets and the power hour hours, what the actual hours are, I would say within the next couple of days, I will send out an email and get everyone the information, because we haven't yet decided them and people are wondering. So within days, we'll be able to say these are the hours for golden tickets and power hours.
Great. Wonderful. And I see people sending in their questions. I love it. Thank you so much. Michael and I will, download this after our presentation and start answering them. But I did see one, and it's a very simple one to answer. what's the minimum donation? Michael, people just need to know, are still feeling they're not understanding that.
It's $10 is the minimum donation, which has been the minimum for all the Valley Gives so far. With the donation form that Janet showed you before, there's radio buttons with predetermined choices. The minimum there is $25. That was based on the idea that the average donation in Valley Gives for the last 4 years has been $25, but people can choose other and do 10 if they want, and that's consistent with trying to reach either people with less means or folks who are younger who tend to give less. So you can give more, you can give less than $25.
Great, thank you so much for that. I'm showing everyone the live event preview. So please do not, nobody's gotten $500 yet. This is just a test, and this, of course, will be down to zero on the day. But I do want to show you what is the live, how does the website look like on May 2nd. And so right now you see the time is left to give, and then of course we're starting at 0 and total gifts is 0, but of course that will be populated as the day goes on. And what's wonderful with the advanced giving, you'll start seeing some dollars posted the early morning hours of May 2nd, which is great because it's always good to see that total being populated relatively early in those early wee hours of May 2nd. So here is what, as I showed you the screenshot earlier, here is what the multi-gift form on the home page looks like. So as I said earlier, you can type an organization's name in. I'm just typed in A. All the A's are popping up. B, O, Y. Oh, I have the Boys Club of Greater Holyoke. So I'm not going to make any donations, but I'm just showing you how it looks. I'm going to be a first-time donor, and I'm going to add a gift. And then I can do Friends in Northway. I'm going to do $10. I'm not a first-time donor, but I'm going to add another gift. So I can go on and on here with as many as I would like to donate to. Payment details, first name, last name, just traditional information for the credit card information. And then information that, and I would love for Michael to talk a little bit about what's going on here and why we're asking these questions.
Happy to. So this is really important in terms of your messaging, I would say in advance as you're reaching out to donors. This is a much longer donation form than is probably a best practice and definitely that when people are used to. But this information below is the information that will help you get prizes. So for example, you'll remember there's prizes for multiple age ranges, and there's prizes for particular cities. And we wanted to make sure that we captured that. So if people fill out the bottom part, that helps. There's also, you'll see making a donation on behalf of someone else, and that can be in memory of, on behalf of, or in honor of. And that, so that if someone wants to do that, this would be the place to do it. There's also on the bottom a place for referred by, and this is our little hack because we weren't able to pull off doing peer-to-peer this year, and I know some organizations, I think one is on the line from what I could see, who has teams, the red team and the blue team, for example. So if you want to have a competition among, the folks you're serving or the people raising money for you, this would be the place referred by where you would tell your folks who are raising money for you to say, tell anyone who donates that they reach out to, put in red team, and then you can calculate it because this will show up on your donation report form that Janet showed you earlier. So, and then the last but not least on the bottom, and I just want to reiterate this, is last year was the first year where we asked people if they would be willing to contribute the processing fee, the 5.99%, and it was overwhelmingly successful. We raised just about $70,000 extra. So rather than you not getting $100, you got 99 and change, or 90 something and change, you would get the full $100. So if people are donating to you, this is the place to do it. The only critique last year wasn't clear. We're hoping this is really clear, that anyone who checks yes knows what they're doing. But again, that's part of the messaging. You can just ask people if they're willing to cover the processing fees, and you will get the full amount that they want to donate.
Correct. And when you and I click show total, it'll, show me that I forgot to answer a lot of the questions. But once I show total, it'll show you what the 5.99 amount is also. Okay.
I highly encourage it.
Yes. Also wanted to show other ways that a donor will be able to find your organization. Find an organization on top, on the right-hand side top. I'm just randomly trying to G. I can, takes me to Academy Hill School. And here is what your event day page will look like. It has a number of gifts, the amount raised. For some of you who have matching funds, it will populate right next to it. Your logo, donation amount, again, all the same kind of information you saw on the multi-give is here. But what's also included is your information that is in pre-event, which is your address, your website, your different social media icons, and your mission statement. And let's see, let's go back to home. How else can I find an organization? I can go by categories on the right-hand side. So I'm very interested in arts, culture, and humanities. And here are all the organizations who are participating under arts and culture, which are there are 87. And here, I want to donate to Berkshire Hills Music Academy. And it takes me straight to, again, to their donation page. How else may I be able to find an organization? I'm going to go back to home. And this is the groups. So this is where, and it's not populated now, but will be populated as of May 2nd, is you can then locate an organization via city and town, or just city and county. Michael, can you clarify that?
Yeah, so we will, if you click on this, and it actually will be on top, set up on the navigation as well. And it'll have all 70 cities and towns in the Pioneer Valley. So if someone is looking for organizations that are based in Greenfield, you would just scroll down to degrees and click on that, and then every organization that has its main location, so the main office is where the town and city is associated with. So it's just another sort, being that people in the valley identify geographically.
And as Michael said, that group will be part of on the top bar, yeah, as a link. Correct, Michael?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me just take you to leaderboards. Again, AAA, you do not get $500 yet. This is just a test, but we just wanted to show you again, this is another place where a donor may be able to find you, and this is a live link, and you just do, again, click on that, and it'll take you to the AAA Full Circle Adoptions Family Building Center. I'm trying to see what else we have. Prizes. Yeah, here it is. So prizes are here also, which is on the pre-event site. And you have FAQs for your donors, because it becomes very important that donors will be able to have some donor FAQs. And that's really it on terms of what the site will look like the day of. Am I missing anything, Michael? And please, if I have missed anything, people have questions, please type them in, and of course, we'll get back to you on it.
No, I think it's pretty complete. I think the nice thing about being able to search different ways is if people sort of know who you are, but they don't have the URL, they can browse. We also, if you're looking by category and someone cares about the environment, they'll see other organizations that are working in the same space. So that's a good thing. So no, I think it's pretty comprehensive. There's more information that will get populated between now and the day of, so there might be more text, and we'll make sure that everything's accurate. But I think you covered everything.
Great, thank you so much. And I just wanted to make a mention about those who are the main point of contact. You can share your login information with others who are going to be helping on the day out. We just recommend that you don't have 15 people logged into the same profile. If someone is doing looking at donation reports, so it becomes really easy. The only reason why you would be in your profile page LinkedIn, again, if someone is sending you, saying, hey, can you send me you're sending your URL right away off the fly, that's great, but also your donation report. So, if there are other people working with you who need access to your login information, make sure they have it. Another best practice is just make sure you have everybody assigned to a specific role during that day, be it communications, be it social media, be it tracking prizes. I'm sure you guys have done this before. Many of you are veterans, but for those of you who are new, having that plan, having that that work plan and who's doing what is really important. And again, this is about fun. I know this gets very competitive, and people want to win those prizes and people want to raise the most money. But this, again, is your opportunity to shine in the community, to let people know of the incredible work that you do and the tireless work that you do to help the community. And I love Giving Days. I love that that Kimbia is able to successfully do this with organizations, and we're just really proud to be your technology partner for Valley Gives. So thank you so much for this opportunity to speak to you, and as Michael is going to post this later on.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in with two quick things, and then we can sign off, and I think end early. One is just to follow up on something that Janet mentioned, because I mentioned it in the webinar, but I wanted to underscore it, that just in doing research for Valley Gives, we had just shy of 10,000 donors last year, which is great for the event. But in looking at the population of the 3 counties in the valley, there's 560,000 adults and 250,000 households. So we've really not scratched the surface hardly at all. And so in terms of the competition part, one of the things with the prizes is really encouraging everyone to reach out and get beyond the core people that you know and try to get into networks and reach those hundreds of thousands of people that none of us have touched. So that's just, I think, a place where we can grow and get beyond the sense that there's competition, because there's a lot of people who don't know about Valley Gives, shockingly. And then the last thing was in terms of the Facebook group that I created. As soon as we hang up, I'll create a link so people can go there. But it's the best place, and I would encourage you as we gear up to Valley Gives Day for you all to ask questions of yourself or share best practices. There's already been discussion happening, and that's where I'll put some information as well. But it's a place where it's a closed group where everyone who's participating in Valley Gives can talk to each other. So it's not just me sending out emails, but that there can be a real exchange that includes or does not include me. So I will put that on the Valley Gives site that we've been using for organizations, probably under help. And I think that's it.
That's wonderful, Michael. That's really great. It builds capacity and peer learning, which is something that is one of the goals of Giving Days, is how peers of those who participated, who are veterans, to those who are relatively new to this this way of fundraising and learning from each other is the best, because Michael and I can give you best practices, but really those who are in the trenches who've done this, who have have been successful, please be open, please share some best practices, especially for those who are new to Valley Gives.
Great. Well, with that, I want to thank Janet again for doing this great presentation, and we're really looking forward to partnering with Kimbia. I think it'll be a smooth and exciting day. So if you run to anyone who didn't hear this, it will get posted in the next couple of days. And thank you, Janet, for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure, and good luck, everybody. And I will be with you at at midnight and all through that day. So I look forward to seeing your results, and we'll be talking soon. Thank you so much.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.